foundation for sickle cell. Right, so about the foundation started in 2011, and it was founded by my husband, who's late, is Mr. Hygeia. And the whole essence of this foundation is to take care of children living with sickle cell that are indigent. So we found out that quite a lot of people that can't afford to take care of the basic health needs, their basic health needs, have children with sickle cell. So the whole idea for this foundation is to take care of such children. Initially, we started with 10 children, but with time we've grown to 71 beneficiaries. How we do it is, like I said, we want to be able to provide basic health services to indigent children living with sickle cell. So what we have done is partner with an HMO. So we've identified Hygeia as the HMO that we're going to be working with. Why we selected Hygeia is we accosted a few other HMOs, but we realized that Hygeia was the HMO that had the heart and was willing to work with us on this cause. So we started this partnership in 2011 that the NGO started. So what we do is we identify children with this need and whose parents can't afford to take care of their medical needs. We identify the need and we register them under the Hygeia platform. So from the moment they register, they start to get treatment for free. So what happens is we have a partnership with Hygeia such that we pay the premium for the beneficiaries to Hygeia, and Hygeia just makes sure that they're treated for as long as they go to the hospital. Like I said, we had 10 when we started, now we have 71 beneficiaries under the scheme. We have children all over Nigeria. We have Abuja, Lagos, Kaduna, Kano, Port Harcourt, Ibadan, Abeokuta, and different places in Nigeria. And we are able to do this because I'm not a doctor and nobody on my team is a doctor, but we're able to achieve this because of our partnership with Hygeia. That decision to start a foundation is because my husband lived with sickle cell. So he knew he was very fortunate to be able to afford all the medical services that he wanted to. But he realized that there are some people who are in the same situation but are not able to afford it. So he had a burden to ensure that children whose parents, the indigent children, are able to receive as good health service as he received. That's why he wanted to start the foundation. And he, like I said, his name is Hygeia. So he passed in 2015. After he passed, initially he had told me before he passed that he wanted the foundation to go on. And I continued with the foundation because he wanted to. He wanted me to. But something changed in 2016. We just continued paying the premium. I had never met any of the beneficiaries. He met them, he knew them, but we just continued paying premium, and I realized in 2016 that, true, this foundation wouldn't go anywhere, so I need to meet the beneficiaries. So for me, the turning point, the decision to start, like I said, started with him, and we worked together to get it up until the point in 2015. But in 2016, the decision, it got to a point that I had to make a decision in 2016 when I met the beneficiaries. We had an open house in the office, and for the first time I met the beneficiaries. For the first time I realized the impact this was having on their lives. I realized how much they they valued what we were doing, and for the first time, my eyes opened to the fact that a lot of lives are depending on this, and it wasn't something that we could shut down, even if we get into any bad time. So, on 2016 September, August was a turning point for me, because we realized that it wasn't something that we could just take for granted. A lot of lives are depending on it. And so that's a decision for going on with the foundation. Our relationship with Hygeia started in 2011 when the NGO started itself. And just like I said, we discussed with the CEO at the time, and she was willing to work with us on this course. And so the importance of Hygeia to this NGO is such that Hygeia is the HMO that implements our strategy. So our strategy is to be able to reach as many indigent children as possible without us having experience as doctors or having to distribute medicines and all to the children. So the partnership with Hygeia is such that we call Hygeia our strategic partner, actually. So because it's through Hygeia that we're able to implement our strategy, and we're not restricted to Lagos because of this partnership. So we're able to cover children in Kano, in Kaduna, in Abuja, in Port Harcourt, and Ogun State, Ibadan, and in Nigeria because of our partnership. So this doesn't stop us from being able to do a lot. So our partnership also with Hygeia is such that we almost can't afford not to work with Hygeia, because that is the way we're implementing our aim, our purpose of existence. So what we do is we only try to raise funds to ensure that we are paying for the premium as and when due. So how Hygeia has helped us so far is, we have exceptional cases where children have had to be rushed to the hospital in ambulances, and Hygeia takes that, makes the call, and we discuss. So they know they will call us, we'll discuss, but the most important thing is they're very aware that the lives of the children or the beneficiaries are very important to us, and they've made it a part of theirs also. And it's so much so that the relationship is so intertwined that some beneficiaries actually can't separate Hygeia and soulage. You find them saying, we want to thank Hygeia and soulage. We want to thank soulage and Hygeia, because they don't. A child is hospitalized for 3 months, 4 months, and we found out that apart from our soulage team visiting, we found out the Hygeia team also visits, gives cards to say get well soon. That is more than enough for anyone, and that goes a long way even with us, that we know that we're working with partners that have heart. That's the most important thing for us. I think Nigeria is one of the countries with the largest number of people living with sickle cell. It is, not I think. It is, because we have over 150,000 children born with sickle cell every year. This is alarming. And as alarming as it is, Nigeria is not doing much about it. So, first of all, a lot of people hide the fact that their children have sickle cell. So hiding it makes matters worse. Not only that, because of the stigmatization that comes with it. Now, the stigmatization is something we have not talked about a lot, but it's important we all talk about it. Because the people who are living with sickle cell did not choose to live with sickle cell. They're born with it. And it's not contagious, it's nobody's fault. I believe a lot of NGOs in Nigeria now are working very tirelessly to ensure that there's awareness and there's a lot of things, but things will go wrong. So I'll give you examples. We have at least 7 beneficiaries that parents that were sure the genotypes were A and AS also get married and have maybe the first or second child, and they realize the child is SS. How is that possible? Then we check and find out that they're actually AS and not AS. So in this case, what do you do? So first of all, the medical system in the country, maybe should I say the lab system, is such that it doesn't give the accurate information at the first instance. So people think they are free to get married because one believes he's AA and the other AS. So yes, we're free to get married until the SS children come around. Okay, the children are around now. It's important that we give adequate care. We know very well that the lifespan of someone living with sickle cell is very critical between the ages of 0 to 5. So I understand also that, between the ages of 0 to 5, there's something called acute chest syndrome that could kill a child within an hour or two, So the death rates or mortality rate at that age is very high, which is why I said initially that we are very particular about children. We believe that if we're able to take care of those children at the earlier stage, they would live well, because what is lacking is actually adequate care. And if we're able to give this adequate medical care, a lot of sickle cell patients will actually live a good life, a normal life. Now, it's bad enough, like I said earlier, that Nigeria has the highest number of people living with sickle cell and we're taking it for granted. It's as a result of working with Soulage Foundation that I realized that there's so many complications that come with sickle cell. And so this leads to a lot of stigmatization. So the cases of leg ulcers. And if it's not well taken care of, it stinks at a point. So when someone starts to stink, naturally people run away from them. And it leads to stigmatization such that some of them stop their education. So sickle cell can stop somebody's education because you're not able to go to school because people are saying you stink. So these are the things. Another major complication, there are lots of complications that a lot of us are not aware of. Another complication that could lead to a child not living a normal life, a child with stroke. Currently we have about 6 children in our NGO living with child with stroke. And when I say child with stroke, I mean a child of 2 years old living with a stroke. A child 6 years old. We have 6 years old, 4 years old, 7-year-old living with stroke. And this has stopped them from living a normal life. So a 7-year-old child is still being carried like a child by his mother. And what happens is it stops the parents' ability to live normal lives. Complications are so many that it stops them from living normal lives. But I believe that if we pay more attention to it in this country, we'll have solutions to a lot. So take for instance, for the child with stroke, we can prevent it. So how we prevent it in our own case is we run a yearly TCD test. It's called transcranial Doppler test, where the brain is scanned and we can detect the children who are at high risk and those that are low risk and those that don't have any risk at all. And the test we did in May this year showed us that we had over 60% of the children that we have with us that are at high risk of having a stroke. There's some of them that are living with stroke already and they're high risk of having another stroke. So we found out that one of our beneficiaries, who's a girl, she's just managing going to school. She had a stroke, she was already getting out of the stroke, she started physiotherapy and all, and suddenly she went back into the stroke. So these are things. One thing is if we pay attention to these things in Nigeria, there are lots of things that could be avoided. So we've been able to avoid stroke in at least 30 children by going through our TCD this year. And so that's what we'll continue to do every year. It's better to prevent than start to cure. So for us, we'll keep going through all this tests to make sure that they live a normal life. If Nigeria is paying half attention as they're paying to many other diseases, to sickle cell, it would be a better place to live in, because the whole sickle cell thing is being pushed aside. You find out that people believe that it's the parents' fault. People believe it's the fault of the parents of the children to have. So there's no empathy. They don't pay them attention. It's so sad that even in the hospitals, it's painful that you see people living or are in excruciating pain, and you can live with it, and you're not trying so hard to make sure the pain is reduced in any way, as in any means possible that you have. People are blind to the fact that people that live with sickle cell actually have needs, and the needs are not out of this world. There are simple things that we can all avoid. So if we're giving a little more attention to sickle cell, I'm sure we would get better results. Because right now, a lot of NGOs, we're working with a lot of NGOs to make sure that the grassroots awareness is done, such that you are aware of your genotype and you are very, mindful of what you're doing before you get married or before you start having children. It's okay if you want to get married and adopt, it's okay. But even if you still want to get married and have your children, it's your choice. But at least you're making an informed decision. But unlike the situation where you got married to someone who is AS, you thought you were AA, and you both have sickle cell children, who takes care of that? And then the children are around and you leave the children to suffer in pain. And I must confess, the pain is excruciating. I can't say that I've experienced it before, but seeing people live with that pain, and more so children live and grow in pain, is one thing I think that this country needs to address. Like I said, we can avoid a lot of things that has to do with sickle cell. We can avoid a lot of the complications. We have priapism, we have childhood stroke, we have the leg ulcer, we have the one that leads to their eye issues. It can lead to blindness as a result of complications complications of sickle cell. There are lots of complications. We're not aware of it because nobody pays attention to it. So the more attention we can pay to it as a country, the better the space would be for us all.